Katie Joy Paulson has been talking about 7M, Robert Shen, Miranda Derrick, and James Derrick since February of 2022. That led her into a lawsuit, a defamation lawsuit, and she claims the reason why she was really being sued was to prevent her from being part of this docuseries put out by Netflix, Dancing for the Devil. Katie Joy Paulson has blamed pretty much everybody that does not agree with her or does not agree with the docuseries that they are employed by Robert Shen, that they are part of Robert Shen's quote-unquote cult, that they are supportive of Robert Shen, that Robert Shen is controlling all of these accounts that have not liked Katie Joy Paulson since, well, Katie Joy Paulson came to be. I am not part of Robert Shen's quote-unquote cult. Robert Shen does not control me, nor my beliefs, nor my feelings. All of this is on my own. And many people, many creators, said that anything Katie Joy Paulson becomes a part of, such as a Netflix series, it would lose credibility. I'm not here to talk about Robert Shen or 7M or whether or not I believe he runs a cult. I am here to talk about Katie Joy Paulson and show why so many of us find her to be problematic and extremely unreliable.
I worked on the docuseries. I was in production. I was the archival consultant. So my job is an archival consultant is like a journalist that is a resource to the documentarians that helps them tell the story through archival records that they hold because of their research.
Well, as you can see, Katie Joy is not the archival consultant. There were three. This is not the only thing that Katie Joy Paulson exaggerated about in regards to her involvement in this docuseries, such as here she states, "Now that my project is done, I need my followers and viewers to help us finish what we started." Katie Joy even tried to state that she helped create Dancing for the Devil prior to its release, even though Katie Joy Paulson was not a director, a producer, an editor. Katie Joy simply provided documents to all of those people that were part of creating Dancing for the Devil. Katie Joy's over-the-top sense of entitlement and ownership is really displayed here, where Katie was talking about a video that was coming up, and she states, "Exclusive behind the scenes. My Netflix series dominates, but the fight for justice is far from over." Maybe Katie Joy Paulson truly thought she was going to have more involvement in this docuseries when it came out, that she would be addressed more, that she would be seen more, and that didn't happen. Nonetheless, Netflix owns the series. And this is why so many people have a problem with Katie Joy Paulson being part of this story. People that know Katie Joy Paulson's problematic behavior and people that have been following her well before she involved herself with 7M and Robert Shen made their concerns and frustrations known that involving Katie Joy Paulson in such a project could be disastrous, and that Katie Joy Paulson would more than likely make a mockery of their docuseries. And sure enough, when Katie Joy's 15 minutes of fame were up and she felt she wasn't getting the attention she deserved, Katie Joy Paulson then herself became the victim. This docuseries is about victims that are allegedly inside of a cult. But in true Katie Joy fashion, she became the victim. Then Katie Joy Paulson, post after post, video after video, lets everybody know how she's a bigger victim than everyone else.
I've had cops here now 3 times in 2 days, and it's all related to this series and people claiming that Robert Shen, I'm getting emails saying, "Oh, Robert's telling me to do this." I don't even know if this is Robert behind this. I'm sure in some capacity he's incited people to do this, but this was, in my opinion, a direct retaliation for what he had Miranda post. Miranda posted last week that she was in danger. Since then, I have actually had police at my house. To the best of my knowledge, police have never showed up at Miranda's house. There's been no police involvement with the stuff going on with Miranda. And Robert has been driving a narrative to Miranda since March of 2022 that I am dangerous, that any of these threats and situations happening are actually what's causing her harm. So that's why she was blaming her parents. But it's more than likely that those threats were coming from someone that supports Robert or from someone within the church. I don't know who.
Nothing has been proven. Nothing has been shown by Katie Joy Paulson. And there's a lot of speculation that any of this is even true. And of course, it all started after Miranda made a statement that she was getting threats and that she was feeling unsafe in her own home. Then Katie Joy Paulson had to go on and do what she's done since the very beginning and victimize the very person she calls a victim, Miranda Derrick, and put out an official response to Miranda's statement that she's in fear. Now, I've done another video regarding Katie Joy Paulson's obsession with Miranda. Feel free to check that video out if you have not already. And of course, since I put this video out, there has been a lot more posting and obsession over Miranda Derrick by Katie Joy Paulson. And here's some of the latest on that. As Katie Joy says, Miranda is not the only victim. She is only one person that is a victim. There are many victims. So then why does she always use Miranda's face on these generic posts? It's supposed to be out 7M or Robert Shin, because Miranda is her poster child. Miranda is what brings views. Miranda is why she's where she's at with this story. She's not out to save victims. She's not out to help Miranda. She is out to use Miranda as the poster child on her channel because she knows that is when people click and view. She's still going after Miranda. She is still hating on Miranda, even though she says this is not about Miranda. This just shows the anger, the resentment she has because Miranda, I guess, did not listen to her. Anyways, Miranda Derrick is a victim of Katie Joy Paulson. And the Netflix docuseries, whether it be one-sided or not, there is no way they can be agreeing with how Katie Joy Paulson is dealing with this story after Netflix put their time and effort and resources. Katie Joy Paulson is making a mockery of the docuseries. All she does is victimize the victim. Well, she also makes a lot of false statements, and she contradicts herself a lot. So let's take a look at some of these contradictions that Katie Joy has made since the announcement that the docuseries by Netflix was going to be released. And this is why so many people have a problem with Katie Joy Paulson and why they have a problem with her being behind this series. Let's take a look. Now, this first one isn't necessarily a contradiction, but it does show that Katie Joy Paulson a lot of times misunderstands and interprets things incorrectly, such as when Robert Shin apparently, allegedly, gave Katie Joy Paulson the nickname Sandwich. Here's what Katie had to say when she was first told about this nickname.
I want to tell you a funny story. I have been covering this situation with these TikTok dancers in this group called 7M and this church called Shekinah Church. Well, apparently the pastor, Robert Shin, doesn't really like me, allegedly. He's actually suing me, which is still going on in court. But I found out from a couple people that he really dislikes me, allegedly, so much that he's given me a code name, and that code name is Sandwich. So if you ever see a sandwich somewhere, that's me, and I'm hiding in the deli.
It's not funny. And I think, she's just so proud that she's apparently gotten into Robert Shin's head. But we don't even know if this is true. It was never proven. Not only that, I don't think he means sandwich, as in meat, cheese, bread. No, I think it's more... That's just a guess. Why she finds this as a compliment and likes to talk about it is beyond me. we don't even know if it's true. One of the contradictions Katie Joy has made, of course, is about Miranda Derrick. When addressing whether or not Miranda was a mentor for Robert Shen and within 7M, Katie Joy says, I have no idea who the mentors are at the moment, but Miranda's mentor is Hannah. She's not at all at that level. But in the next breath, when someone allegedly asks Katie Joy if Coco Shuffles really joined 7M after the docuseries was released, Katie Joy states she joined after the story went viral in spring 2022, that Coco had unstable housing and income when she was groomed to join. Miranda was her mentor. Miranda became a person that controlled other people. But what happened in the last breath that she's not at all on that level? So which one is it, Katie? Is Miranda somebody who's not at that level within 7M? Or is she a person that controls other people? Katie says that Robert Shen does not like children and does not allow children within the church or allow the dancers to have children.
So this is different than Scientology because they don't have kids. And there's no time for members to have children. Kind of like how NXIVM is. So remember how Keith Raniere never wanted people to have kids? That's kind of how Robert is.
Katie's story from the very beginning in 2022 is that they are not allowed to have children. No children are allowed. And she answers this to somebody that asks, are they allowed to have kids? It's interesting, none of them have had any since they joined the cult. Well, Katie Joy started covering this in February of 2022. After Miranda Derrick's family went live pleading to help them find their daughter that is, quote unquote, trapped inside of a cult. But interestingly enough, even in Katie Joy's statement here, 7M didn't get going until 2021. So to question why they haven't had children is kind of silly. I mean, if 7M started in 1981 or 2001, maybe even 2011. But these are young adults that technically have only been part of 7M for a little over 2 years. So yeah, kind of silly. But what's even more ridiculous is this, because now they can have children, y'all. They can have children now. So once Katie Joy found out one of the members of the church gave birth to a baby girl, Katie Joy's story had to change. And now she was allowed to get pregnant. And Katie Joy alludes to the fact that he only allowed it because Katie Joy Paulson and Netflix stated that they're not allowed to have children. But I'm sorry, y'all. So is he just say, hurry up and get knocked up because Katie Joy is saying otherwise? Very doubtful. Very doubtful. But Katie Joy, once again, has to make it about herself. And when she finds out that she was wrong, she doesn't just fess up to it. She spins it, makes it about her, and says how Robert Shen is lying once again. So which one is it, Katie? You couldn't get your story straight, so you just had to make a big bullshit lie. Okay, on to the next one. Katie Joy has been saying from the very beginning that anybody involved in 7M is trapped and basically being held hostage. From February of 2022, when she started talking about 7M, she says, so remember that there are people still trapped, and it's Robert that is a bad guy, not the dancers. She made many comments that the dancers had no free will.
Alleged high controlled environment where they don't have freedom or free will.
Katie always argued the fact that if somebody said they're adults, they'll find their way out. Katie says there is no such thing as leaving. She had been saying that from the very beginning, y'all. I'll read this one in full. Robert truly believes he has a right to take away someone's free will. It's sick. For those saying they are adults, let them be in a cult. What if your loved one was held hostage through threats of damnation, loss of income, loss of friends, cursing, taking away privileges? But after the docuseries was released and people realized that these dancers left on their own free will, they just walked out when they were done. And Katie's narrative has now been changed by the docuseries. She had this to say.
Control, and everything that they do is to please Robert. And Robert is notorious for telling them what to post. So if they're posting that the real story is this, or we're not being held hostage, nobody said that they were being held hostage. No one said that they couldn't leave if they didn't want to.
Yes, somebody did, Katie, and that somebody was you. From the very beginning, your video called Trapped in Plain Sight. Viral TikTok dancers trapped inside cults, controlling their every move, family and friends beg for help. That was your narrative, Katie Joy. Well, until the docuseries came out and proved what you were saying was not 100% truthful. All right, on to the next one. One of the most conflicting things that Katie Joy Paulson says is that these dancers are in it for the money. And then the next breath, oh, they make no money because Robert Shin takes it all. Same with fame. Someone asked, do you think Miranda and others may be actually choosing fame over their family? Katie says, this isn't about fame. And literally, in the next post, she states that they are there for clout and fame. So which one is it, Katie? Are they in it for fame or are they not in it for fame? You mix this up all of the time because I don't think you really even know. It's just your own narrative. Okay, on to the next one. Another thing Katie Joy goes back and forth with all of the time, depending upon the day and depending upon her narrative, is Robert Shin is cheap. He is super cheap. Super cheap, y'all. But then, in the next breath, she has to show that Robert Shin's wife, sported a $10,000 double-quilted Chanel handbag. How Katie Joy knows this, I don't know. Clearly, she looked it up. Oh, and here's Robert Shin's Bentley that Katie Joy said she could buy two of. Oh, and his son's very expensive BMW. I don't know. Katie Joy can never make up her mind which one it's going to be. Is he cheap or does he spend way too much money on lavish things? I don't know, Katie Joy. You tell us, because it's never going to be consistent. One thing I do know is that things only come up when it's convenient for Katie and when it needs to suit her narrative, such as when somebody asks her, are you ever concerned about your safety? These abusive men seem to stop at nothing. Nope. Katie Joy says, nope. She's not afraid, y'all. She's not afraid. And she's not afraid to taunt Roberto, which, y'all, is just so racist. Can I just remind you that he's Korean? And she'll say, dear Roberto, I see you're trying to get people to publish content to smear me. Game on. Sincerely, Sandwich. And then, this post is only my opinion. So, game on. I'm coming for you, right? I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid at all. Oh, but wait. And then she makes a video when she's the victim.
I understand that I couldn't be on camera today because I don't feel safe right now. The last few days, I've just needed to be away from the camera. I don't want to be exposed right now.
But of course, she had to make this post that says, I've been dealing with high anxiety and have been afraid to leave my house for the past couple years due to harassment. But then says this.
I'm not intimidated by Robert Shin.
So you're not afraid of him and you taunt him. And then when you need sympathy, you're terrified of him and everything else that's surrounding him. And then you're not going to be intimidated by him. Which one is it, Katie? So for those of you that have followed Katie Joy Paulson's lawsuit, if not, I have plenty of videos on the channel regarding the lawsuit. She's being sued for tortious interference. and rightfully so, because Katie Joy Paulson interfered with many deals and collaborations that 7M and Miranda Derrick had with sponsors. And of course, that has not changed. She wants to pick apart every single thing that Miranda posts, especially if she talks about a product. It's just part of Katie Joy's harassment on Miranda, and anything she posts, Katie comments on it and reposts it on her page. It's never positive, and none of it is fair to Miranda Derrick. None of it. And she wants to pick apart how she's doing things. She even put a poll together when Miranda did a post showing Stanley Cups. Katie had to make it a point to her viewers that Miranda is lying. She says it's Robert that's lying, but she's using Miranda's face, her post, her picture. She knows people are going to hate on Miranda, but she does it anyways. And here she says, so I guess this post is another fake out by Robert. He's probably told them they are sponsored, like Miranda's an idiot or something. But here's where it's bad, y'all, because somebody responds to her. I messaged Stanley and they confirmed they are not partnering with or sponsoring either one. Thank God. Thank God for what? This harassment into her personal life, regardless of what they feel, is wrong. It's wrong. Because as Katie Joy pointed out before, when she was harassing Miranda 2 years ago, and just before she got sued, she was picking on and insulting Miranda again, and basically stated that influencers are required under the law to disclose if they are making money on a post. This is called truth in advertising. The FTC fines influencers for breaking these rules. Without the appropriate tags, the girls are either not following the rules or they are faking that they have a deal to appear high-end. So Katie Joy knows that in this latest post that Miranda did with her Stanley Cup, if she didn't tag them, she's not claiming that she's affiliated with them. But of course, y'all, of course, it is okay for Katie Joy to show product that she likes and put it on her reel and not hashtag. So it's okay for her to do it, but she's going to mock and insult and harass Miranda. Maybe it's a good thing Katie Joy doesn't tag Natasha Denona. Just saying, y'all. Because this is a day that Katie was very proud of her makeup. Clearly, Natasha Denona palette. And so she did not want to let her makeup go to waste. So she did a post. Here I am. I really can't, y'all. Anyways, Katie, why is it okay for you, but not for Miranda? Never is it? Okay, on to the next one. From the beginning, Katie Joy made a lot of horrible statements about B-Dash, who is James Derrick, Miranda Derrick's husband. Recently, Katie was asked, is it possible that B-Dash is a recruiter since he has been in a cult before? And she says, no. Nope, no way. Well, this is after the Docuseries came out. And she had to once again change her narrative because before she said any woman that involves themselves with a man from this group, and B-Dash is clearly involved in this group, will be heavily recruited and encouraged to join the Bible studies and attend service.
So the men are recruiting actively. That's factual.
Once again, stating something as factual. She also says he and his friends have brought innocent people, including the women they've lured in. And even more recently, she stated, as long as they are working for Robert, they are being exploited. I've had multiple dancers reach out to say the male dancers, which includes B-Dash, are actively trying to get young females to join the group. And in another post, she stated B-Dash and Concrete were the first of the guys brought in. Then those two were able to lure in more. The group attended weekly Bible studies and kept the details of the studies secret from friends and even girlfriends. Katie Joy's narrative from the very beginning was that B-Dash was recruiting people into this quote-unquote cult. But once the docuseries was released, no, y'all. Nope. He is not recruiting. So which one is it, Katie? Is B-Dash a recruiter? Is he ruining people's lives? Or is it not? You don't care which one it is, as long as you have a story. As we all know, Katie Joy Paulson is being sued by Robert Shen, 7M, Miranda Derrick, and James Derrick. The original lawsuit was served upon Katie Joy Paulson on April 5th of 2022, and it was only 7M Films and Robert Shen. An amended summons was served to Katie Joy on April 7th of 2022, and Miranda Derrick and James Derrick were added as plaintiffs. Katie Joy has left out many details regarding this lawsuit to her followers, and she's even lied to them. But why she would say something like this is what blows my mind. She actually stated in a post, "Oh yes, Robert added James and Miranda to the lawsuit. They likely have no clue that they are suing me." Because, well, Hannah and Shirley signed documents for them. Once again, she's trying to change the narrative so her people believe that Miranda is stuck in a room somewhere with no free will, no ability to even speak her own mind. But when Miranda made a statement after the series came out to say her side, but she mentioned she was in a lawsuit, Katie Joy, of course, had to respond. And no, it wasn't nice. And you can hear the anger and the hatred that she has towards Miranda. It's very obvious that she's pissed that Miranda's suing her.
And this statement that she just put out on her social media is at best nothing but filled with lies. I'll read you her statement and then I will respond. She wrote this: "Hey everyone, just wanted to hop on here and say that I have seen the documentary. I want to start by saying that I appreciate the concern that has been expressed for my well-being. Due to pending litigation in which I am a plaintiff in a defamation lawsuit, it is not appropriate for me to comment on specific allegations, though I will state that I do not condone abuse in any way. I want to stop right there and say that the only pending litigation Miranda has is in a case that was filed against me in the state of Minnesota. At this time, I am being sued by Miranda, and I'm not going to use a lawsuit to be silent."
And Katie, that's your choice. You don't have to be silent during your lawsuit. I mean, I think it's recommended. But if Miranda chooses to not speak on you, that's her choice. That's her right. And Katie was so bothered by this that she actually did another video.
In my statement of this documentary that's just been released, I can't go into too much detail because of legal purposes, but I just wanted to add my side of the story a little bit. Thank you so much for taking a read. Have a great day. Bye.
Her statement is filled with, in my best explanation, lies. Lies that are being spun by Robert Shen. And I can say this with confidence because Miranda is a plaintiff in a lawsuit against me. The lawsuit she is suing me for has nothing to do with what was said by her family in the series. The lawsuit is not with her family. The lawsuit is with me. She could speak about all of this, every last word of it, because nothing that I said is a part of that series.
Well, first of all, she never said that it was. And you are just twisting it and turning it and making her look bad on purpose. Talk about anger and vitriol that she has towards Miranda. It's bizarre. Because we don't know if Robert Shen, in fact, wrote that. We just don't know. But Katie is stating it as a fact. But we just don't know, y'all. So, Katie Joy, why do you have to say things about Miranda to try to discredit everything about her? To say that she doesn't even know that she's suing you in a lawsuit? Why, Katie? Why can't you just be kind to Miranda? She's a victim after all, right? Okay, let's look at the next one. Many of us know how big of a hypocrite Katie Joy Paulson is, but let's just take a peek at something that happened very recently, because this is just too much, y'all.
So Robert is apparently having a bit of a panic. One of his neighbors who lives on the same street as him reached out to me today to let me know that they saw a lot of cars parked out of the church property. And apparently there's not a lot of cars usually parked there. And according to the neighbor, there's been a lot of activity there, including Robert's car, a white luxury car. We're still waiting on the kind. And Isaiah Shin's BMW was seen out there.
So Katie Joy says it's a fun fact that Robert's neighbors are watching him. And these neighbors are clearly sending pictures to Katie Joy Paulson. Like, look at this creepy stalker picture, okay? And then also letting her know about the luxury vehicles of Robert Shin's. But remember, he's cheap, so that doesn't make sense, does it? But this neighbor is literally providing Katie Joy with all kinds of information about their comings and goings and the vehicles and the people. But what happens if something like this were to happen to Katie Joy? Well, it did. So let's take a look.
But this is what they posted. So somebody in my neighborhood is walking around with a camera for Robert Shin. Think of how psychotic you have to be in my neighborhood, taking photographs of my house for a cult leader so that they can post them online.
Oh, you mean just like Robert's neighbors did? They sent you stuff so you could post them online? And she had to turn this into something way bigger than what it was, accusing Robert of being behind this and having the neighbors send these pictures. Again, stating something as fact when she does not know. But when this did happen to her, she posted this: "To my neighbor taking photos for Robert Shin. We do have a dog that will bite you if you get too close, and we have ring cameras all over this house. You will be reported to police for harassment/stalking. I hope it was worth it for you to help a cult leader." So Katie is blaming a neighbor. She doesn't know which one. Apparently they all hate her. So she's blaming one of her neighbors and Robert Shin, and then also Without a Crystal Balls on Instagram. She made another post that said, "Robert Shin and balls. This is insane. To the neighbor taking these photos. We have cameras all around the house and we will watch the cameras and report you for trespassing. We aren't hoarders. My husband is a woodworker. You psychotic person." But Robert's neighbor is normal, and it's okay because he's given you information for you to blast all over the internet. Oh, and it's just another way for Katie Joy Paulson to play victim and be a bigger victim than the victims she's supposed to be advocating for. So you can stalk and dox others, but as soon as it's done to you, you're going to sick your dog on them? Got it. Okay, on to the next one, y'all. Okay, so let's just listen to another really big lie that comes straight out of Katie Joy Paulson's mouth. And again, this is very recently also.
Because even if I don't like Robert Shin and even if I don't like Cody Brown, I don't file police reports against them.
Well, I guess you don't go in and file the report yourself, but you definitely make posts like this that state, "I'm shocked that law enforcement hasn't gotten involved, even the FBI, but would they tell people if they were?" Katie answers to contact, and she tags where they should contact. They have a file that is just sitting, waiting for them to charge Robert. Do they now? Is this a fact? They have a file that you know of, that you've seen? In another post, someone asks, why aren't the authorities doing anything? And Katie says, contact the LA DA or leave comments on their socials and apply pressure. But no matter how much she doesn't like Robert, she doesn't contact law enforcement, y'all. Instead, she'll just make hundreds of posts like this, asking people to tag law enforcement to apply pressure to have them finally arrest and charge Robert Shin. And then she says, thank you again to everyone, which means to her flying monkeys because she knows they're going to go do the job for her. Here she is telling people to contact law enforcement and demand that they charge Robert Shin with sex crimes. But she doesn't contact law enforcement people, y'all. Here, she's tagging them and asking, when are you going to arrest Robert Shin? There was even a petition started to urge LA Sheriff's Office to investigate Robert Shin. And to make sure her flying monkeys are paying attention to her orders, she gives them a daily reminder that this man is still walking free and the reminder to contact law enforcement. So I guess because Katie hasn't called any law enforcement to file a report, then that's different than tagging every law enforcement on the planet. She doesn't contact law enforcement, y'all. All right, on to the last one. So when Katie Joy was being the victim recently, she contradicts herself within seconds.
I don't want to discuss YouTubers that have been doing this to me. I don't want to give life to those people. I know who's doing this, I know why it's being done. I know how it all started. I know the creators Robert Shin linked up to. I know the tactics that they're using. I don't want to talk about people that don't deserve to be talked about. And frankly, I don't want to put out anyone's name because I don't know who did it. And accusing someone publicly of doing this wouldn't help the situation. It just accuses someone publicly without having all the facts. And I don't have interest in doing that.
Because Katie is all about facts, y'all. Allegedly. Seriously, who puts facts and allegedly on the same post? Well, we all know it's Katie Joy. So I'm going to end this one here, y'all. And I hope you're having a wonderful day or evening or morning, wherever you may be at in this world. And I'll hope to see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.